I'm never ready.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Under the Tea. Please let me know if everybody is loud enough. I've been adjusting audio. Welcome. I'm just gonna say it for the memes, and people can agree or disagree if they want. But it is Gamergate 2, 100% official. All right, we are resurrecting the Cancer Man, and it is now time for another war to start. I've been thinking about that all day.
What, to say that?
Yeah. Just as a joke. How are you guys doing?
Doing good. How are you?
Oh my
I'm just
goodness.
reading through the descriptions to make sure my name got fixed.
Oh shit, let me double check.
It's fine.
Okay, good.
MizuhanaOshibe.
MizuhanaOshibe Inu.
Oh man. Really quickly, if this is your first time viewing it, because I know that sometimes people come on this podcast for the first time. This is Under the Tea. I am MommaOcco. This is LuminousCove, and MizuhanaOshibe. We like to talk about tea, and the tea is very ripe this week on episode 25. We're going to be talking about the main thing on today is going to be Sweet Baby Inc. and just how insane they've been. We're going to talk about their backstory a little bit, how we've gotten to this point, and kind of some thoughts about where we feel things are going to go, just for funsies. And then we also have gay artists going after lolicon artists, or just in general, Japanese artists, and trying to cover it up. And, yeah. We got a lot of other little things here that we'll talk about, too. So, sorry, I'm just... excuse me. What do you guys want to talk about first? Because I remember you, Lumi, mentioned that you wanted to talk about some smaller stuff before, just so people could filter in.
Yes. Do you want to bring up Aurora's post so then we can look through that together?
Which one?
The one about TikTok getting banned.
Oh, yes, chat. I'm pretty sure I linked it in our chat here. While I pull it up, chat, and this is something that's like, I don't personally believe this is going to happen. Some other people think that it's going to happen just on government phones, but apparently the government has passed a bill to ban TikTok again. Or I don't know if this is like the second or third time. I know they've been trying to do this for a couple years, and it's been really crazy how much both sides of the aisle, politically speaking, have been kind of all for it. And it's making me really interested to see why. So, yeah.
It's like...
It poisons children.
What I've been seeing is that the government wants ByteDance to sell TikTok to an American company that has no ties to China. And if they do not, then they will ban TikTok from being accessed in the US.
Right.
Which,
Right.
To me, I don't give a shit if it gets banned or not, because I have seen too many parents actively exploit their children on that app and everything.
Yes.
And pedos can just easily save videos and download them. And these parents are choosing not to turn off those options. They're just leaving them so people can fucking save them. Just disgusting.
I do agree that there are really weird people that are on TikTok that use it for very weird reasons. A lot of the because there are a lot of lower tier lolcows that are on TikTok. And I noticed that they started showing up because of TikTok. So, I don't know, chat. Should we actually ban TikTok from being there? Do you want to know who doesn't want it to be banned? Aurora. Here, let me just switch over here. Oh, look at this, chat. We have a brand new view thing. Now we can look over here and you can see this. Aurora does not want TikTok to be banned. because she claims that it is her livelihood. Now, I'm not here to judge anybody. Lord knows that I don't judge people. But if you make your livelihood on TikTok, you might want to reevaluate some things. Mm-hmm. It's not a good place to make your livelihood. Excuse me. So, I don't know.
I don't know how it could ever be her livelihood, though.
Well,
you make pennies on the dollar.
Yeah, I'm wanting to know.
Really, really large creators that have talked about TikTok and how useless it is overall for just everything.
Yeah.
Because you don't make money from like any of your followers from TikTok. You don't make money from TikTok itself. Your TikTok followers literally won't go anywhere. Like, it's hard enough to get followers to go between sites, but with TikTok especially, they literally will refuse to move anywhere ever. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Okay, I also don't see how TikTok is her livelihood when she only gets like a couple thousand views per video.
Yeah.
I'm on her TikTok right now.
unless her livelihood is penny. Because I will say, out of the three of us here, I used TikTok the hardest when I actually went hard on content creation last year. Mostly because when I started multi-streaming, the idea was to get in many places to get many eyes. And to be honest, some of my audience is actually from TikTok, and some of the more solid audience that enjoys Warframe is from TikTok. But they migrated over, and my whole thing was just like, hey, if you're watching me on TikTok, if you want to play, come over to YouTube. That's actually how I stole a lot of people over. But for the most part, besides migrating an audience from one place to another, TikTok is not very useful, period. And unless you're doing what I did, it's not very easy to migrate an audience over either. Because if you're on TikTok, chances are you've got a low attention span for information anyway, and most people there will not go to more long-form content. It's the same kind of problem that people have with shorts, which is why I don't make shorts anymore on my main channel. Shorts can actually kill your channel because of how, the way it works, excuse me, is you make a short and people watch it. If people then subscribe to your video and don't watch your main content suffers as a response to that. So shorts can hurt your main content. It'd be really great if your shorts do good, but your main content can die really quickly. So it's very, very dangerous, I would say. You really have to know how to do it good. So I'd like to know how Aurora actually makes money on the platform. I have absolutely no idea. Maybe, you know, I know she'll probably never talk to us because we're evil and mean, but I'd like to know, I'd like to know how she does that. Oh man, yeah. I don't know.
It's just one of those things. I don't know how she's supposedly making money out of it. Because there are people way bigger than her that have publicly said, yeah, you literally don't make money out of this.
Yes. No, yeah. I will be, again, I as the resident expert for TikTok stuff, the most money I ever got from TikTok was actually from fans sending me pennies, and I think I got $10 over the course of a year from fans sending me money. You don't get if there is ad revenue on TikTok, it's in the millions of views, and I only got thousands of views, which is fine. But
it's like on Twitch. If you said the only thing Twitch had was making money from the ads, and somebody's like, "Oh, you can't take away my Twitch. It's literally my livelihood," and they have like 2,000 followers on Twitch. It's like, no, you made like 5 cents last month. What are you talking about?
Right.
Yeah.
It's literally the exact same thing with TikTok. Like, no, girl, you made like $2 at max across the entire year. And those followers aren't going anywhere else, so you're not even making money off the followers. I don't know what you're talking about.
Right. So yeah, if it gets banned, I am personally of the opinion that like that is kind of a dangerous thing to do, because banning things like that is kind of an infringement on free speech. However, I do really want to emphasize that I really don't like the fact that out of all of the apps that China doesn't block, The only app that China does block is one that it makes, and it is TikTok. So you have to wonder if they block all of those. If they don't block all of those ones, why are they blocking an app that they have control over?
It's like that. This will be the only time I dip my toes in political this stream. But when China said that they were gonna, like, you know, try to invade the U.S., they said it was not gonna be through military means. And you see what TikTok's doing to the younger generation and everything. The attention span for what? Gen Z and younger is at an all-time fucking low. And even when China did have TikTok, it was all educational content. It wasn't the shit that we have over here. So, like, they're doing what they said that they were gonna do.
Yeah, I don't know very much about
that. I don't think it matters that much.
I don't know how much that matters, but again, I think that if TikTok isn't banned, there's some big changes that need to be made, because yeah, it's a bad platform. Chat says it has nothing to do with kids. That's interesting. I don't know.
They want it owned by a U.S. company because they don't want the Chinese communist spy app to be, you know, owned by China.
Something like that. Oh goodness.
Jeez, Amar.
TikTok is creating mini vouchers. Yeah, I will say, one of the problems I have with TikTok, there's a lot of silly little stuff. Like, me and Caro can spend time just sitting and watching silly little TikToks because there's a lot of silly dumb shit that you can watch. Part of the problem is also some of the people there just need to shut up and not say their dumb shit. Like, not only do you have people with dumb political opinions, but you have people that are legit spreading misinformation. Well, okay, quote unquote misinformation. Stupid shit like flat Earth and trying to convince people. And then you have the people that are faking mental illnesses, which is always just like, it is always kind of, it's one of those things where I don't ever get offended by it, but I do have to point and laugh at it. Like that girl that faked having, what's the name of that? That mental Tourette's, yes.
Ticks and roses.
Yeah,
Ticks and fucking roses. Yeah.
She's like, I heard recently that she's trying to, what is it? She tried to prove it by going to a doctor, but people found out that the documents she showed were very quickly searchable online and very quickly to be changed around. So people still don't believe her. Her parents have even come out and said that they don't believe that she has Tourette's. And I can say, as somebody who knows somebody with Tourette's syndrome and interacts with them on a daily basis, she doesn't have Tourette's.
The DID fakers are everywhere. Granted, it's fallen out of popularity, but there's still some.
It is fallen. Well, it fell out of popularity because people aren't giving attention to those people anymore. So, but yeah, that's a TikTok. That's a TikTok thing. Very, very interesting. I personally don't think it's actually going to get banned. But the fact that people like Aurora are like, please don't ban this. This is my livelihood. It's just like, please don't put, like, this is one of those things where if you are a content creator, please do not put your stock in platforms like TikTok or Twitch for that matter. I'm still trying to convince people that Twitch is a bad place to put your stock into. You need to diversify, but that's a conversation for another day.
I mean, you always need to diversify, but I think the weird part is I genuinely don't see a point in diversifying to TikTok.
Yeah. Unless you start out on TikTok and then you diversify, there's no reason to go there.
I agree with you now, but last year I would have said it was better to, again, pull followers over. That's the entire reason why I did it, is just to take followers from TikTok and bring them over to my platform. Like, I couldn't give less of a shit about TikTok now, but it did have somewhat of a legitimate purpose. And if it does, it's like with Twitter. Like, Twitter is a place for your fans. It's not really a place to grow a personality, because there really isn't a good way to get...
Unless you're me.
Well, this is true. This is true. But you don't really get paid. What I'm saying is you don't get paid money there. And if you do, it's not really a lot. My point is, if you want to live off of it, you know, it's not really the platform to stake everything on, if that makes sense.
It's still wild to me that a bunch of people will still be like, hey, I full-time content create. I full-time stream. This is my livelihood. If I go under this many, then I'm not going to survive. Hey, donate to my shitter. Hey, look at my OnlyFans. No. People need to realize that stuff like this needs to stay a hobby until you make double of what your bills are.
Yeah. Yes, pretty much. Pretty much. If you're just scraping
just
by, no, yeah, if you're just scraping by with content creation, there's a bit of a problem. There's a bit of a problem, and that's with every job. That if you're not making enough, maybe you should step up a little bit and find something else so that you're not like worried every single month.
Maybe you should get a real job.
Oh, exactly. Maybe you should get a. No, I'm just kidding.
You're gonna need to fix some of the stuff, by the way.
Oh, what's wrong?
Lumi's
see
hair
my
is in
hair.
my room.
Oh,
I'm in your room.
hold on.
Yeah,
I can do that. See, the hard part is because our models are so close together. Here, I'll push you a little
made
bit there.
Big.
Huh?
You made them too big then.
I guess what I can do is I can change it later. The problem is her regular model's hair isn't that gigantic.
Well, you should
Well,
shrink her down
hold
a
on
little
here.
bit for now.
Hair, no, don't.
She's supposed to be small anyways.
There we go.
I'm supposed to be cute and funny and tiny.
There we go. Now you're out of the view. Oh, and now you're out of the view. I'm waiting for OnlyFans regret to hit coming in years. Oh, it's already happening. It's just
Yeah,
not
it's
like,
already happening.
it's just not washing over people.
I
As
mean,
much.
I know we talked about. It was either we talked about it off stream, or we talked about it a while ago. But that mother who had her kid, like her kids got kicked out of school because she had her OnlyFans shit on her car.
Yes, that was funny. And it was a Christian school as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, people got really mad at the school, but it's like she put her kids in a private Christian school and was showing up to the private Christian school with a giant label on the back of her car that says, "Here's where you can see me naked." Like, did you think that was gonna go over well?
It's like
And kids are gonna start committing fucking self-deletes if when this gets
big, yeah.
huge, when they get old enough, and then kids are little fucking assholes.
Yes, they are.
Preteens are fucking assholes. They will not hold fucking back.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. So, yeah. Mizu, is there anything that you wanted to talk about? Little topics on your end that you want to bring up before we get to the big thing?
I mean, not particularly off the top of my head. I thought I had something, but then I kind of lost it.
Okay.
Because I have been going over like the Twitter stuff lately.
Mm-hmm.
I am an approved poster for the Twitter, but it is not my Twitter. If somebody from Twitter is watching this, it is owned by Lumi.
It is.
So, well, one of my exciting news of the week is Rooster Teeth finally went under, which
Oh, let's talk about
people
that.
have opinions on that, but I'm kind of the opinion like, yeah, they had it coming.
They had it coming since 2012.
Why 2012?
Because if I remember right, that's when they sold to WB.
Okay.
Oh, not that. It's the streamer therapist thing.
Oh, right.
Okay,
'Cause
let's talk about the stream
Akko
therapist
and I
thing.
talked about this a little bit before stream, because I wanted to like make my opinion on this clear. But for those of you who don't know, this girl puts out this tweet that streamers are not your therapist, and then she links like a ton of Discord messages from this person that's basically like trauma dumping on her and telling her that they're suicidal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole internet rallied around like hating this girl for doing that.
Mm-hmm.
I think Oka and I are in agreement that she should not have shared the DMs, although we're also sort of in agreement that you shouldn't really just be sharing DMs randomly anyways.
Never share DMs chat. Ever. Alright? It's a mistake. Public places are fine though.
My huge issue with a lot of the comments to her were like, oh, come on, this girl just doesn't have any empathy. And it's like, you don't, just because you don't like cater to every annoying ass person that comes up to you doesn't mean you don't have empathy.
Mm-hmm.
I have empathy, but I'm not gonna sit here and babysit this random fucking person who I have no idea who they are.
No, I agree. I think some people forget, because like the thing that's crazy is everybody that's getting mad at this person are also the same people that will also say, oh, you're not supposed to be anybody's therapist. And I saw that somebody basically kind of said that, like, oh, I am not anybody's therapist. And whenever somebody comes into my Discord, I kind of have to joke around a little bit, because it's just like, no, I'm not your therapist. I'm not here to talk about this stuff. And I will say, as a creator, like, you know, if my friends come and talk to me, that's one thing, because I'm way more rooted with them. I know their struggles. You know, if either of you came to me, that's different. But if like some stranger some stranger or fan that I don't know very well, excuse me, talks to me, it's gonna be hard for me to relate. Plus, I'm a very busy octopus. So
Yeah.
while I try to be there, I really don't have the time for a lot of people. And I try and explain that. It's just like, listen, I can't always be here. I'm probably the wrong one. I will say, if somebody did message me and said, hey, I feel like Sudoku, here's what I'm going to say the proper steps are, all right? You should probably try and get their name, and then you should call the police. All right? That is all you really need to do. Get their name and call the police, because it is not your responsibility to your responsibility is to make sure that somebody can get to them. That's about it. But beyond that, like if that's really about it, in my opinion, because you're not a therapist, you're not a doctor, but also don't share those DMs in public.
Yeah. It's like, don't share the DMs, but at the same time, anyone that's like, oh, you're just not being empathetic. You're right, I'm not being empathetic, because I don't fucking care about this person.
No, yeah. Oh, yeah, it's
Stop telling me I have to pretend to care about these people.
Yeah.
you know, it's like when I saw this, I was like, what happened to the streamer's mental health comes first? Because all these people are like, oh, you need to consider the person, and it's just like, all of you are also saying that the streamer comes first, and now you're saying that that's not supposed to be the case? Question mark.
And it's like, people should just have their DMs turned off for people who you aren't friends with.
Pretty much.
Anyway.
Mine are only open because I received drama.
And it's like, you know, if my homies want to trauma dump, that's completely fine to me, because I always tell them, hey, you're my friend. I am always an open ear to listen to. If you need to just vent into my DMs and then delete it afterwards, go right ahead. I don't give a shit.
Mm-hmm.
But that's for friends.
Yeah.
It's not for a random viewer to just be like, hey, look here's my, you know, I did this today, I did this today, I almost did this today. I was standing on the side of a bridge, I was thinking about it, but then I was like, nah. And then it's like, who are you? No. No. You'll get blocked at that point.
No, yeah. I will always say, chat, don't be like the wet brains non-practicing lawyer. Don't talk about somebody's personal issues that you had to deal with. But don't really don't entertain it past the point where it like sucks you in. Just like get them safe and then just detach, basically. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Also, I'm going to comment this because somebody needs to bring it up. That people can say whatever they want, but people have made this exact same tweet as her 100 times in the last year, and it's never gotten backlash. Some of the people giving her backlash have made the exact same tweet this last year and did not get backlash.
Mm-hmm.
People are only giving them backlash because of the quote-unquote like suicidal part.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, I think a lot of people forget this. Telling someone you're suicidal typically means you're not suicidal. I don't think a lot of people understand this. But most of the time when somebody says that, they're saying it specifically to get sympathy and to get you on their side.
Yes, for the most
Yep.
part, yeah.
Someone who is truly suicidal, you won't know until they're already dead.
Pretty much. It's just one of those things where you got to take it seriously, but at the same time, you got to understand that some people are just trying to get attention, and I think the person who made the tweet gave them attention, and also everybody got mad at them, which I think is dumb, but it's whatever.
It's like as a person who had a nice grippy sock vacation because of something like that, I can. It's pretty easy to spot people who do it just for attention seeking.
Right. No, I think I
Narcissism and
agree.
all that.
I agree. I think I can tell it sometimes as well. But yeah, that was kind of an interesting thing to see as well. Really quickly, before we jump on to Sweet Baby Ink, let's talk about Rooster Teeth dying, because I know that everybody thought that was interesting. I actually had an article. Let me pull this up here. So really quickly, chat, just so that you know, I used to be a very big fan of Rooster Teeth. I enjoyed a lot of their content. I started watching RWBY when it was I think it was either just starting or just ending season 2, and season 3 was going to come out eventually. Here, I'm just gonna switch over here. Oops, there we go. Getting used to the buttons here.
Hold on, this is funny. I just read what Azahara said. Hey guys, my girlfriend lost me. My parents hate me. I ordered some chicken nuggets and they tasted bad. I tried cutting myself, but it hurts. Here's $5. Hear me out.
Oh, as I am sorry to hear that the chicken nuggies tasted bad. I would say out of all of that, the nuggies tasting bad is the worst part. Because if there's anything that ruined, like, listen, losing your parents, everybody, no, I'm just kidding. Losing your parents, losing your girlfriend, that sucks. But the nuggies are the make or break point for me, I'll be honest with you. So, I feel like you should have spent your $5 on other nuggies. But, you know.
And the McDonald's 4-piece is like $7 now.
Exactly. Well, you don't go to McDonald's for this. Alright, you can get $5 nuggies at Burger King. I'm not gonna promise their quality, but you can get them at Burger King. At least they're not wrong.
Oh man, it's still funny that RWBY ended with RWBY just canonically being homophobic.
We'll talk about that. So, chat, just some preamble. Rooster Teeth was a YouTube company, or just a YouTube group of people that liked to do silly skits and shit. They did little animations. I think they got their start on Red vs. Blue. Like, I think that was the big thing that they got their start on, was Red vs. Blue. Someone can correct me on this. I've never watched it. I tried it and I was like, this isn't for me. I was never really a Halo person back then anyway. But then they created RWBY with Monty I'm probably saying his name wrong, I apologize, but he was the main creative force behind RWBY. After the first 2 seasons, he unfortunately passed away. I can't remember what it was, but like it was a horrible accident. And RWBY continued on after him. And there was, I would say, a very sharp decline in the quality of storytelling and just overall, like, plot. In my opinion, at least, and a lot of people I've known share this opinion, that the plot went downhill after he passed away. And there was a lot of drama just involved with the show, basically up to this point. Along with that, Rooster Teeth is known for a lot of drama and controversy. A lot of people will probably know that they were one of the first people to fire Vic Mignogna when he was ousted from the anime community, and that was a pretty big hurt point for a lot of people because they felt like he didn't deserve this. Whether or not you think that now or not doesn't matter. A lot of people didn't think he deserved that. Not only that, they've had a couple of different scandals with higher-ups. I'm going to probably butcher this, but I'm not going to say what they did because don't want to get it wrong. But basically, a lot of higher-ups did disgusting things. There was also rumors of crunch, people not getting paid what they were supposed to. Just a lot, and some of these things are like, unfortunately common in industries where you're making animations and TV shows. But these are just little things that made Rooster Teeth kind of like the infamous thing that it was. And for the past couple of years, I and many others had this opinion that any day Rooster Teeth would shut down, because not only are they owned by Warner Brothers, the company that more recently has been chopping fat off at the seams if they don't feel like it makes money, they haven't had a confirmation for their newest season of RWBY. Like, after a year of their last season, season 9, there's literally a hashtag confirm season 10, and they haven't confirmed it, basically. And a couple days ago, excuse me, not even a couple days ago, yesterday, it was confirmed that Rooster Teeth is shutting down after 21 years. Which some people might know, when I saw this, I was kind of happy, because I was just happy that the nightmare was over. I was happy that at the very least the nightmare was over. However, it is possibly not the end of RWBY, because as it says in this Variety article, Warner Brothers is looking to get rid of the IP for RWBY, Red vs. Blue, Genlock, and a couple other of their shows, and sell it to somebody else. So they're looking for someone else to pick it up and continue to use it. Now, I don't know.
So I actually brought this up with somebody when I was reading it,
Mm-hmm.
but I think a lot of people kind of skimmed over the fact that they already tried to sell the studio, and they couldn't get anybody to actually buy the studio with all the IPs attached.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So now they're just hoping they can maybe sell some of the IPs. That's the thing, like, if there's nobody that wants, like, the small collection that was there, it's very unlikely that there's going to be anybody to buy the individuals.
No, I agree. It's one of those things where we really don't know what's going to happen right now. I don't really know if they want to sell all of the shows collectively, if they're trying to pick off parts and then throw them into the wind. We don't know. I feel like the best case scenario, if people actually want these shows to continue, is that they get sold off to people that are passionate. I know, at least for RWBY, there is a gentleman that used to work with Monty. In fact, I believe that he worked under Monty as like as an apprentice, who went off and does his own animation studio, and he voiced his want to get the IP for RWBY and continue it, because he's very passionate about it. Again, he worked with Monty, and a lot of people are thinking that he could do a good job for it. But as for everything else, I have absolutely no fucking idea what's gonna happen, and it's very in the air. It's very in the air. I don't know. It's kind of sad. I don't know what to expect with it, and I don't know. It's very, again, it's just kind of bittersweet for me, because again, I loved RWBY up until at max season 5. I watched it all the way from either season 2 or 3 from the beginning, and it's just been very sad to see the decline. I know a lot of people that I talked to that were very sad to see how it's just gone downhill. I know some people just liked it for it. They didn't really care that much about the story. But for a lot of people, this is something that is not shocking, I guess. So yeah. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I don't think RWBY was ever good.
You don't think RWBY was ever good?
I have only ever seen RWBY get memed on in the homophobic memes and everything.
That's right. Okay.
Most other things, I never really got into Rooster Teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's about it.
I mean, that's fair. I will. So one thing that was kind of funny. This wasn't the last episode of season 9. And that wasn't actually. So fun fact: RWBY is not just contained in its show. It also had a like tie-in with DC Comics,
which was awful.
Which was awful. Yes. So technically, the last content made for the RWBY universe is a DC spin-off. And if that is the last content that they get, man, does that suck, because it sucked. But
I'd like to also mention that for some reason, when they did the DC version, they tried to girl boss the RWBY team, and it's like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
They did the same thing a lot of them have tried to do lately, where they try to girl boss Batman, but you're not gonna girl boss Batman. Shut up.
Yeah, it was bad. I mean, like, here's the thing: anything involving superheroes these days has just kind of been sucking. I have yet to see something that's just actually really good, but I don't know. But anyway, the before that, the thing that a lot of people laugh at, especially now that the show has been canceled and that it, well, not quote unquote canceled, but because it's on a standstill. One of the last episodes of season 9, they decided to ship 2 of the main cast together. And the main character, Ruby, who watched this happen, might have been homophobic about it. And so, literally one of the last memories of this show, if it does not continue, is the main character of the show is homophobic.
Homophobic and then she killed herself.
Yep, homophobic
That's
and then
right.
she killed herself.
Now, I will say that wasn't the last episode, because that was the second to last episode. So I had it explained to me by Carol. Apparently, what happened is she did kill herself, but then she was reborn. She died.
Still killed herself.
And then the world tree that every anime apparently has rebirthed her, basically, and she was all better now, and all her imperfections were apparently gone. So, she saw her sister was gay. She decided to drink special tea that killed her, and then she was reborn without her imperfections. So...
It's like okay, it for some reason it gives me the vibe of, like, you know, oh, my sister's gay, I'm gonna kill myself now. Has the same vibe as, oh, that was a nice date. Oh, by the way, I'm gay.
So yeah, like we don't know what's gonna happen to this IP. I'm kind of hopeful that if someone does pick it up, they just at the very least end it on a better note. But at least for the time being, Ruby is out of work and out of Warner Brothers for who knows how long. Who knows how long? Chat, you can say what you think will happen in the comments.
They just need farting lesbians, and I'll make the journalists like it. No.
No, please, no. Oh, I don't know.
I wonder if someone will read all of Ruby with homophobic Ruby.
I've seen some funny little things of that, and I just don't understand what they were going for there. Like, I could rant about it, but I don't want to, because I don't want to rant about it anymore. Because it's just crazy to me, and oh my gosh. But yeah. Do you want to talk about Gamergate now?
We can talk about Gamergate now.
Right. Oh my goodness.
Gamergate 2.
Gamergate 2.
Electric Boogaloo.
Yes, chat. I feel like this is officially... and let me start off by saying, and you guys can interject at any point you want. I feel like calling something another Gamergate is really gay, and I can say that. But the reason why I am specifically saying this is because the people that are involved, and we are talking about Sweet Baby Inc., and there's a couple of other people underneath that me and Mizu kind of found out about while we were researching this. But the people involved specifically with Sweet Baby Inc. are the exact same people that made Gamergate what it is today. And so, like, I unironically think that if this is the way they want to go, and all of the same things are happening again, it is legitimately another Gamergate. So, let's talk about Sweet Baby Inc.
Without Sargon? Hopefully without Sargon.
Oh, well, here's the thing. Sargon probably will interject when he is on his podcast, but I don't think he's gonna... I think he's all trolled out, basically. So...
Ignore Carl of Swindon if he tries to come back.
So, chat. To actually, I've talked a lot. Would one of you like to give the recap for what Sweet Baby Inc. is and kind of how we got here?
No.
No, you don't want
You can
to.
do it.
Okay.
Sweet Baby Inc. is just a consulting company. Like, it's not a huge explanation that needs to be done for them.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
You
Fair
can
enough.
tell by the little African hat on the person in their banner picture that they are a progressive consulting company.
Very true. But yeah, basically, yeah. Excuse me. The problem started when a Steam user, who is, I guess, getting a lot of press attention right now. We should have asked him if he wanted to talk to us, but
He's Brazilian. He wouldn't have talked to us.
no, you don't think so?
No.
He's talking to the quartering, so I feel like we're...
I mean, Mr. Jeremy from the Quartering, it has a larger following than we do.
This is true. But basically, a guy decided to make a Steam group showcasing all of the games made by Sweet Baby Inc. because on their website, they actually say the games that they are involved in. After he made this list, I think that the first time that it got attention was when somebody from Sweet Baby Inc. pointed out and said, wow, this is really gross and horrible, and we should flag this down because it's so not cool. And because they decided to say that, it got way more... It was Streisand affected, basically. And it's now at over 200,000 members on it. And they have, as you can see, chat, they are now privated. They've privated their Twitter account. But because of this, not only are they calling you, the gamer, racist, homophobic, and all kinds of things, but journalists are now holding water for them again. There was a PC Gamer article, if I remember correctly. I know Kotaku had a writer who tried to infiltrate a Discord group and said that being racist against white people isn't racism, and just all manner of things. And the thing that, like, I noticed, and I noticed this before we started the stream, I actually confirmed this with a 4chan mod, which is weird that I know 4chan mods, but people on 4chan are moving the threads talking about Sweet Baby Inc. out of the gaming board, because there's different boards, it is a forum. They're moving it out of the gaming board into the political board, or the poll board. So they're basically trying to censor, well, I don't know if I would call it censorship, but they're basically trying to move it from gaming, which is where I feel like a lot of people feel like it deserves to be, into a political board. And that's kind of where things are at right now. But yeah, this is really crazy. And again, the people that are involved with it, there was I think the one who started off all of this, I think their name is like Lego Butts. That's their ad on Twitter. I think their Twitter is like locked now as well. But they are directly involved. Like, if you look up messages from this individual, they are directly involved with not Anita Sarkeesian, but I have something for her because she posted something funny. It's not Anita Sarkeesian. It's oh, Mizu, help me out here. We were talking about this.
The person
Zoe
who
Quinn.
went
Zoe
into
Quinn.
the Discord group was Zoe Quinn.
Yes, it was. They are associated with Zoe Quinn, who was the start of Gamergate. So, a lot of the people in Sweet Baby Inc. either directly know or were influenced by those individuals. And yeah, it's quite the crazy, turn of events.
Oh, I'm putting a couple other links and shooting the shit.
Okay.
I guess they have successfully mass reported the Steam curator group enough that they have to delete all their posts right now?
Yes. Let me pull that up because I did see that. So, thankfully, the guy said that he talked to Steam. This was right before the stream started. He talked to Steam, and Steam said, you're good. So, the Steam group is not being removed from Steam, but he has had to remove all the posts. And honestly, I feel like that's probably for the best, because while I think that Steam will be okay with a group page just detailing information about games, they're probably not okay if the posts on the Steam group are unsavory. And I didn't get to see any of them. I tried to look for the Steam group. I don't really know how to look up Steam groups on Steam very well. I'm kind of stupid. But basically, yeah, they tried to get it flagged down and they had to remove it. And I can imagine with all of the people that are very angry with Sweet Baby Inc., they probably didn't say very nice things about certain people. And yeah, I can understand why he would probably have to remove it for the most part. And oh, thank you, Temp. Temp has actually brought it up for me here. Let me Temp sent it to me. That's very nice of him. Oh my goodness, thank you, Temp. Awesome. Do you guys want to go through the games that they have worked? So this list shows every game that they worked on. Let's go through, if you guys want, the games that they have apparently worked on, and we can give our thoughts and opinions on them. Would you guys like to do that?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Temp. I appreciate it. All right. There we go. So this is Sweet Baby Inc. Detected. This is the page that was set up, and it looks like there's just 16. I don't know how many games were originally on here, but these are all the games that at the very least are on Steam. And a lot of them I don't recognize, some of them I do. But let's just go through this here. So I have absolutely no idea what Tales of Kenzera are.
No idea.
No idea whatsoever. So I can't comment on that one. That one looks like it takes place... Actually, I really don't know where it would take place, but I don't have any opinions on it since I don't know it. If you played any of these games, feel free to please let us know. And it looks like they also have notes on here as well. Like this one says, used to be featured. That's interesting. So it sounds like maybe they're trying to hide games that used to be featured on them now. Which is interesting. They're trying to cover their tracks, not knowing that the internet remembers everything. Let's see. Neocab. I have never seen this game before either. This looks like a driving sim game. I don't know.
It looks like they're trying to mimic the art style of Borderlands 2, but just in 2D rather than 3D.
It does. We saw Tales of Kenzera at TGA. It was an African developer who was making the game in honor of his father. Well, I'll be honest with you, that's fine. That's fine.
The game honestly looks beautiful. If you the first game, if you look at the art style and everything,
yeah,
it looks really fucking nice, to be honest.
Oh, it does look beautiful, and again, I don't know anything about the game, so I can't say anything about it. I think the thing that's gonna suck is that because it's tied to Sweet Baby Inc., it's probably going to be negatively affected, and that's probably why some of the games are being removed from their website, is maybe developers are saying, hey, can you remove this? Because I don't want my game to get affected.
Yeah, so it's important to kind of understand that Sweet Baby Inc. is a consulting company, but it is possible for them to be as involved or not involved with a game as the company they're consulting for lets them. It's entirely possible they got called in to consult on something for a game, and then the actual developers were like, okay, well, we really don't give a shit about anything you just said.
Right.
Yeah, it's like with God of War Ragnarok, for example. I'm on their website right now. If you hover over it, they say we worked on narrative and character consultation with a focus on representation.
Oh, I don't think that one is in this because isn't that one a PS5 exclusive?
It is
Okay, yeah, then it wouldn't be.
no
on
God of
Steam.
War Ragnarok. Yeah, no, it's PS5 exclusive.
It's Valhalla that isn't. No, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think the thing. So Mizu is correct. It is, quote unquote, a consulting firm. However, it has come out that they have done more than just consulting. I believe it was for the Suicide Squad game, Kill the Justice League. They didn't just consult on the game, they wrote entire dialogues for many different parts of the game. So again, the narrative that they have been trying to spin is, oh, we don't change anything in the game. We're not in charge of major aspects. We're just here to add little touches here and there, maybe make some suggestions. No, according to even some of them, and Rev did a video on this, a really good video on this, that I think you should watch every single one of Rev's videos on this. They wrote dialogue for this game. They wrote big chunks of this game that made it into the final product. And guess what? It shows. It shows with. I don't know very many of these games. I've heard that Sable is good, but it sounds like they do more than just consulting. I'm sure for some of them it is consulting, but others it's just like they put their hand way deep in there and made sure that it was how they wanted it to. So I don't know. It's just kind of crazy. Gotham Knights. I have not played any of the Gotham series, so I could not.
The Gotham series is good. Gotham Knights was largely considered to be garbage.
Was it considered to be garbage? Okay, all right. Yeah. We can agree on that. Did either of you play Valhalla, Assassin's Creed Valhalla?
I don't play Assassin's Creed.
Okay, fair enough. But do either of you know if it was good?
I was under the impression that people enjoyed the gameplay, but thought the writing of it was the worst in the series.
Interesting.
My friend Danny is Assassin's Creed simp, so I would have to ask him.
Yeah, I haven't played Assassin's Creed for many years, because I'm going to be perfectly honest, it's going to be very difficult to tell what was butchered by Sweet Baby and what is just them being shit. Because Assassin's Creed in general has just taken like a hard nosedive down over the last couple of years.
Right.
To really put their perspective to how bad Assassin's Creed is getting, this is a historical fiction game, and they decided their next one is going to take place in feudal Japan, and the main character is going to be a black slave.
I remember the discourse around that. Yeah, I remember there was like a whole bunch of people arguing about how he can't be a samurai, and people saying, oh, he can be a samurai. And then there were people arguing that he actually was a samurai in history, and it's just like... It's way too much, man. I don't, like... I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if that was Sweet Baby Inc. as well. Like, to put it into perspective, because here, Sweet Baby Inc. has existed for at least a decade. A lot of these games here, I don't know how old some of them are, but Sweet Baby Inc. has been around for a decade. Again,
Sweet Baby Inc. in 2018.
Was it 2018?
Yeah.
Okay. Because it was mentioned, and again, it was during I watched this in Rev's video, that they, either they or some of the people from Sweet Baby Inc. worked on old parts of Destiny 2's main campaign, which is really old now. I think, Temp, you might have to tell me how old it is, but they worked on parts of the base campaign for Destiny 2. And when I brought that up to people were like, you know what, that actually makes a lot of sense. So... they either the company or the people involved with it have been around for a while. Again, just looking at some of these games, I know very, very few of them. Again, I heard that Sable was a decent game. It has, from what I know, good art, but I just don't know any of these games. But yeah. And somebody mentioned that they changed their mission statement. This is true. I think that's something that you linked, Lumi. Is that right?
Huh?
You linked.
What I link?
You linked that they changed their mission statement. Here, I'm gonna gonna pull that up here really quickly.
Here
Yes, yes, they did change their mission statement. Hold on. Okay, so this was their mission statement for 20, or I guess before this big change happened. I don't know how long this has been around, but it basically
They worked on Dark Alliance.
They
that
did?
explains a lot.
Is Dark Alliance a bad game?
It's not. I wouldn't say it's a bad game, but if you go to what everyone says, they really don't like the story.
You know, that's crazy. It seems like any of the games that they worked on, it's just like, oh, the gameplay is fine, but the story's shit. Chat, unironically, if you look at any game that's had a horrible story in the last, like, 5, 6, 7 years, maybe it's because of them. I'm not saying, now, it might not just be them, because there is another consulting firm that Mizu found that I want to talk about briefly as well. But there's a lot of games that just sucked, and I'd be willing to put money that it is either Sweet Baby Inc.'s fault or another consulting firm that just does the exact same shit. And it's all starting to come together. No offense to Canadians, but it makes sense they're a Canadian company. Oof. That's me.
Not sorry about Canadians. You guys kind of suck.
I know.
Except for you.
Oh. Let me, alright, you cut out there.
Oh, I said except for Scab. He's pretty neat.
Awesome. Yeah. I like a few Canadians, but a lot of them are just like, you need to leave Canada, bro. Anyway, their mission statement says, founded in 2018. So it was in 2018. Sweet Baby Inc. is a narrative development and consultation studio based in Montreal and working around the globe. Our mission is to tell better, more empathetic stories while diversifying and enriching video games industry. We aim to make video games more engaging, more fun, more meaningful, and more inclusive for everyone. Okay. So this is what came out after they changed it. And again, I don't know why these people are thinking that changing things is going to help them, because the internet documents everything. And if we don't actively document it, there is a Wayback Machine that will do it for us. Lumi, will you read this after statement?
Oh, where's the after statement?
Oh, shoot, hold on. Let me stream it here for you so you can see it.
Yay, I have been granted foresight. Oh, okay, this one?
Yes, it's on screen now.
Alright. We begin with an all-hands review and discussion of the project material. Everyone at Sweet Baby sees your project and shares their thoughts, feelings, and ideas. We do this because it kicks the project off with a multitude of perspectives, beginning with a conversation that ensures the work is richer and more resonant before it's even put to paper. We then create and complete narrative deliverables by keeping the player in mind, with a focus on user experience and emotional design. We aim to consult with honesty, transparency, and a conversational approach to help find the best direction for your project.
That is really interesting. It's quite the... It's like when someone gets caught and they end up having to say 10 times more things in order to make up for what they said previously. That's really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness, this is crazy.
But funny.
It's crazy but funny. Exactly, yes. Now, again, the fallout from all of this is not only have they privated their Twitter account, a lot of the workers for them have also privated their Twitter accounts, and journalists are holding the water for them. Again, Kotaku is, and I know PC Gamer is. Sorry, I'm just trying to rack my brain about the ones I remember. Those are the two that I can think of, but like, it's happening again where somebody does a stupid thing and now the journalists are covering for them. And I don't really understand why. I really don't know why they're covering for them again. If I remember correctly, somebody might have mentioned that there is connections in these journalist companies with these people that work for these companies, but I would need to see some before I say that.
I thought I linked something earlier.
Did you? Let me look here. Oh, the one in this newest link that you posted? Yes.
Hit detection client, Remedy, Bluebird Team, Sega, Riot, Blizzard, EA, Obsidian, Eurogamer, CNET, The Verge, Polygon, GameSpot, Edge, Games Radar, Wired, and IGN.
Perfect. Temp is also correct. It was also Paul Tassi. So Paul Tassi, I know Paul Tassi because he mostly comments on Destiny stuff. But Paul Tassi is a Forbes writer, and he also wanted to talk about it as well. And people are tearing him up, which, you know, rightly so. If you're going to defend it, people are going to tear you up for it. And, you know, one of the other people that wrote for Kotaku is apparently a senior editor. Here, I'll just pull this up. A senior editor for Kotaku decided to infiltrate a Discord group, ask people about why they don't like Sweet Baby Inc., and then talk about it. And I can't remember what led to it, but basically she also said that you can't be racist to white people. And then she got community noted, and the community note says racism isn't limited to marginalized or minorities. It's basically, Twitter said, no, you're wrong. Racism applies to everybody. So these people are losing their minds. And someone brought it up earlier. I think it might have been Temp. But it's really funny that all of this is happening right during this crash of the games industry. Like, games left and right are just letting go of bloat and people that they don't need anymore. And all of this is happening at the exact same time. So it's I don't know, it's just quite interesting. I don't know, what do you both think the outcome from this is gonna be?
I mean, honestly, it's just going to be dependent on the studios that will continue to work with them, because honestly, in this current day of age, in how specifically BlackRock and I forgot what the Vanguard, is it Vanguard? I think it's Vanguard.
BlackRock?
Those are BlackRock and Vanguard are two of the companies that invest the most into really any type of business, and they follow an ESG score, which is why people use things like Sweet Baby Inc. to raise that ESG score so they can get the funding for their projects.
Right.
Unless something changes for the legit trillionaires up on top, nothing's gonna fucking change, unfortunately.
I already think that is changing, because I think the ESG stuff is slowly dying out because there's no money in it.
It's the ESG scores just feel so similar to the fucking, what was it, the social credit score that the Chinese have.
No, yeah, in my opinion, I think that stuff is going to slowly die out because there's no money in it. There's no money in pandering to people, because as we've seen, hell, with all of the good games that have come out that haven't used this ESG bullshit, compared to the games that cost millions or hundreds of millions of dollars in some cases that lose money, I don't see how it's sustainable. I really don't see how it's sustainable, in my personal opinion. I feel like it's going to slowly die off after these people get their good boy points in.
I think it's already dying off.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I think it's slowly dying off. I think the effects of this are... I think what's going to happen, this is just my general kind of like opinion, is what's going to happen is people are going to realize that this is a bad way to do things, and they're already realizing it. You know, again, we've got great games out there, like Helldivers, like Palworld, like Elden Ring. All of these games are fantastic, and they don't need this bullshit in order to survive. And game companies are going to realize, oh man, we really don't need to, one, spend so much money, and two, rely on this bullshit in order to make a good game. And they're going to start making good shit again. And they're going to stop using these consulting firms that, honestly, in my opinion, again, if you look at any game that sucks within the last 10 years, and if it's the writing, it's probably because of Sweet Baby Inc. or any of these other little consulting firms.
They need to get rid of sensitivity readers.
Part of
It's
this...
fucking stupid. I mean, it's like, okay, this is veering off of gaming, but fucking, Roald Dahl books? Like, they're older stories, they're old books and shit.
Mm-hmm.
They are having sensitivity readers go in, read the books, and then when they republish them, they're rewritten for a modern audience.
Yeah,
So, like, what are some books that were recently republished because they were offensive?
I know they wanted to redo all of the Dr. Seuss books, and... what was it? Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, I think?
Yeah, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory was one of them with Augustus Gloop and stuff. They were trying to have the books not call him like a fat pig or whatever.
Listen, Augustus is a fat German stereotype that, I'll be honest, was kind of funny. You can't remove that from the book, because then when he gets sucked up the pipe and he can't fit because he's a fatty fat, like all of the fat people on YouTube, I'm sorry, it's just not going to hit the same way. So they need to keep the fatty fat in the book there.
They're trying to change Matilda. They're trying to change.
What's wrong with Matilda? That's a great book about a kid that like might be a little special. I think
might be a little special.
I think she's got space autism.
She has space autism.
Where's my powers universe? I want to lift people up. That's so dumb.
I've never seen Matilda.
Really?
Matilda's great. Oh my gosh, it's a classic. It's really good.
People make references to it, and I don't understand any of them. I just kind of nod my head like, yeah, no, that sounds like Matilda, all right.
Add that to the list.
We are going to watch Matilda together.
We'll add that to the list.
Okay, this is the tilder on it. Ronald Dahl's famed children's books are being scrubbed by so-called sensitivity experts to remove language they deem offensive, including fat or ugly characters, and making the beloved Oompa Loompas of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory gender neutral, and other shit like that.
Yeah,
they technically already were gender neutral.
Yeah, the Oompa Loompas were they were short orange men.
Yeah.
With green hair.
They loved cocoa beans.
That really liked cocoa beans.
Like, okay, I will say this.
We are on a very long tangent at this point, by the way.
I agree. I will say this. Was it made in a specific time where things are a little bit different? Yeah. Should it be changed? Absolutely not. Because you need to confront the weird things of your past. And I think that if people want to remove it, it's just gonna make people worse overall. Huff the cocoa beans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Excuse me.
Anyway, one of the things that I wanted to talk about briefly, and I'll let Mizu kind of talk about this, because this was something that you found out, is Sweet Baby Inc. isn't the only consulting firm that exists, and there was another one that was specifically...
Well, there's multiple consulting firms.
Well, yeah, but there was one that you brought up that had a very interesting story behind it.
It's always downhill. What are you talking about?
I don't recall which one we're talking about. You're gonna have to refresh my memory.
The one that was done by the sister of the guy that killed himself because Zoe Quinn.
Kaluka?
Yeah.
I don't want
to talk about that one real quickly.
Faster.
I suppose. Yeah, no. So, Sweet Baby Inc. gets most of its funding from a company called Baby Ghost, which we talked about this last night, but that's just a fucking... Like, Sweet Baby Inc., I can at least, like, sort of get behind the name, but Baby Ghost, it's like, what the fuck are you thinking?
Baby Ghost.
But Sweet Baby Inc. gets its funding from Baby Ghost, which gets its funding from a company called Weird Ghost, which is owned by Alec Haluka's sister, Mary Haluka. Weird Ghost gets half of its funding from Alec Haluka's company, Infinite Ammo, which I believe is probably now owned by Mary Haluka, so she's funneling money out of her dead brothers, by the way, her brother's dead, company into her progressive company on behalf of like Zoe Quinn and all of her friends.
Pretty much. And yeah, it's just really weird, man. Again, like all of these people, all of the shit, all of this, like this, as soon as you start wading through this, you start to realize the people that like were there during Gamergate not only still exist, but they are still grossly entrenched in this industry, and they have rooted themselves so deep that it's going to take quite a long time to get rid of them. But I do believe it is possible. I do believe it is possible. One reason why I think that it is possible is one of the big people of Gamergate, Anita Sarkeesian, no longer does her feminist frequency. I think that it shut down probably because it made no money and her grift was done. And people just endlessly clown on this woman forever and ever. Chat, we shall clown on her right now. This is one of the funniest pieces of shit I have ever seen. No, she is not getting married because Anita Sarkeesian is a weird feminist that does not believe in needing no man. This is her at her own birthday pretending to get married. Like, how
It's like-
fucking weird is that?
I get self-love as a thing, but God.
I practice self-love every day. This isn't the kind of self-love I feel like you need in order to be valid. Like, what the hell? And by the way,
She married herself.
Did she marry
got
herself?
married in
No.
Stockholm.
And by the way, this is kind of old. This was back in September, but people found this out obviously while digging up the past. But like, how low can you go, woman? Like, why is it that she is just somehow still here? You know, she goes to her UN thing, talks about how video games are racist and homophobic and horrible for people, and she has to marry herself, probably because she knows that no man will want to marry her, because if you ever get married to Anita Sarkeesian, good luck, buddy. We lost Gamergate, she lost life. I agree. It's just so weird. She talks about how she got a divorce lawyer, drunk uncle, and a ring bear. That's like...
So it's kind of like the reverse.
I don't...
It's just like... Man, I don't even know what to fucking say. It's like Arnita Sarkeesian pops up every once in a while like a bad rash. You think you finally got rid of her, and then she somehow comes back, and it's like, why are you here?
She's like a pimple that you need to get rid of. It just keeps coming back. Just keeps coming back.
Yeah.
I don't know. But chat, I will say
some
that
people have
if you're ever
things.
having a bad day, alright, I know sometimes I have bad days. And I know, chat, sometimes you may have bad days. Just remember, you're not such a piece of shit that you have to marry yourself because you know that no man will ever love you and will never give you the attention that you are seeking. All right, just remember that, because you are not that far gone. All right, I don't think any of you are, at the very least.
Men are too scared because they're afraid that they'll be Me Too'd.
Oh man, yeah. Well, they know that if they try her, she'll probably do what Zoe Quinn did, and they'll end up like a statistic, like Alakaluka. Which,
Yeah.
I feel bad for that man.
Sister sold him out.
Sister sold him out. You know what? I thought that was kind of like maybe she didn't know. No, I think that she helped plan it out at this point. Very sad. Very sad.
Absolute
Yeah.
psycho.
Oh yeah, both of these women, absolute psychos. Everybody that they work around, psychos. I unironically hope that they understand the pain and suffering that they've inflicted.
No, before the patch, yeah, that's where people found it.
Oh man.
They're slowly moving to try and get themselves in trouble.
Yeah. I don't know. Where do you guys think this is gonna go? I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. It'll only go down from here, so we'll see.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
I'm trying to think. Well, besides the thing that I put in secondary topics, I can't think of anything else to talk about. Granted, going through the quote retweets of this could probably take a while too.
Oh, which one?
What you hate about VTubing.
Oh, yeah, we can talk about that, and then we can talk about the gate artists if you like.
I didn't pay attention to that. What was that?
Someone made a post saying, "Hey, can you give me one thing that you don't like about VTubing?" And that blew up.
So do you want to just go through the quote retweets, or do you want to go through?
Yeah, honestly, we could go whatever you want.
Okay. Sounds
Let's
good.
do the quote retweets because those are usually more fun.
Those are. I agree. I'm gonna be honest with you, chat. I quote retweet everything because I like giving funny opinions.
Behind us.
Okay, let me bring this up here.
Literal first reply. I hate how models cost so much, excluding commercial models. All models are commercial.
All models are commercial. I wouldn't pay a second fee to stream with my model.
All models are commercial, and if you're artist, and that kind of irks me that this person doesn't know that. If your artist wants to tell you that your model isn't commercial, go for a different artist and ask for a refund, because that's fucking retarded.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying.
For those of you who aren't aware, streaming on Twitch, regardless if you're monetized or not, counts as commercial usage. So if you don't have commercial rights, you're technically not allowed to stream on Twitch or YouTube or Twitter or TikTok or anywhere.
Yeah, next time somebody says you don't have commercial rights, remind them that technically that means that you can't use it, and then ask for a refund. Watch them backpedal that bullshit.
I would agree that I feel like a lot of artists charge too much for commercial rights. That's always been like a big complaint I have, is they charge the exact same amount for commercial rights to like a brand new VTuber with 0 followers as they would for a larger one.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, the commercial rights should probably be a bit different because I'm not gonna make money out of it.
I agree.
There's a hope I will, but I likely won't. It's not the same as selling it to Iron Mouse, who is actually going to make like all this money.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree.
It's like most commercial use fees that I usually do with my art, if it's not already included, it's usually just like either half the price of the commission or just like
Also, that's
just double the base price, which isn't bad in my opinion. So like, but that's just me.
No, I agree. I think that I think it really depends. But in all honesty, I would not pay more than double the amount for, like, even if it was something small. It's just like, no, I'm not paying that much. I'm sorry. Oh no, yeah, I agree. Okay, let's look at some of these quotes here. When backseaters come in and they think they own the chat and you just take it because they ain't worth the bother, but they acting like the customer's always right and you just stand it. Okay, then you're not a good VTuber at asserting yourself then, sir/madam.
You can just mute them or ban them.
Well, yeah, it's like, hey, shut up or get banned, bro. One thing that, can I say something that irks me? I get kind of irked when people constantly have to bring it up. It's like, yeah, I fucking get it. You don't want people to backseat you. Block them, move on, and stop trying to clout chase. Nobody fucking cares.
To be honest, I don't understand why people whine about backseating so much. Like, I genuinely don't understand why it bothers you to have like a fan be like, oh, you could try this instead, this works better. It's like, okay, maybe I'll try that next time. I genuinely don't understand why you get so bent out of shape hearing that
like,
you might do something wrong.
I think there's a difference between getting tips and just having someone tell you exactly what to do. But
I mean, there definitely is, but whenever people complain about backseating, it's always somebody told me what to do.
Yeah, I agree. All right. The next one is, Cancel culture. I don't feel like I really have to say anything more on that, because I don't know.
It's cringe. Move on.
Yeah. The problem comes when they spoil the game or give solutions. That I will say is a legitimate thing. And here's what I'll say. Tell them to stop or block them and then move on. But don't complain about it on Twitter, because nobody cares.
I do have
Right?
the same problem with that. Just in games in general, because games have started doing that now.
What?
Yeah.
Giving you hints and stuff when you don't need it.
Mm.
Like,
The ugly yellow paint.
that was a really famous thing with one of the God of War games, where there was a guy, as soon as he walked into a room, one of the characters that's giving voiceover immediately goes, "Huh, there's giant red buttons, maybe I should hit those." And the dude just like screams on his stream. It's like, I literally just fucking walked in the room. Give me 2 seconds to figure it out on my own.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting really sick of games doing. Thankfully, some of my favorite games don't do that, but it really gets frustrating when the game is very visibly pointing it out to you because they think that you're stupid. And I really hate the discourse around people saying that, oh, that deserves to exist, because like, oh, there's stupid people out there, and it's just like, okay.
Stop being stupid.
Stop being
Skill
stupid.
issue.
Skill issue. Or don't play the fucking game. Or maybe, bro, I don't know, stop being stupid.
Here's the thing I think a lot of people
Explore
don't
a little
get.
bit.
When you continually dumb stuff down for stupid people, you ensure that they will remain stupid.
Shotgun.
I
Yeah.
agree. I agree.
Because there's zero reason for any of them to improve. Why would they improve? You're gonna tell them what to do.
Yeah. I think that games need to stop being so dumb. But maybe people are just becoming so dumb that they have to do it. I don't know. A DSP tutorial. You know what? Maybe they're doing it because they know they want DSP to play. They want that DSP clicks. I don't know.
Funny.
Let's see. Oh, this is one that I could comment on. As someone who loves my 3D model, I don't know why everyone thinks I need to upgrade to a 2D model. Because 2D models are prettier. 3D models typically are more expressive in what they can do, but 2D models are prettier. That's just the answer that I feel like can be thrown out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I understand your perspective of like, well, this is my model and I like this. Okay, well, you like it. That's very nice. Other people aren't gonna like it because they just genuinely don't look as good.
No, yeah. Unless you're Zentrea, who I feel like is the only one that really rocks the 3D model the best. But that's because they're just a fucking gremlin. Good luck.
It's like,
That's also because they have a several $1,000 3D model.
This is true.
yeah.
They don't have your Vroid. They have the most expensive thing on the market.
This is very true. And you know, if I did have thousands of dollars in disposable income, which I do not, I totally would do exactly what Zentrea would do. And then I would be a 3D model because you wouldn't tell the difference. But unfortunately,
It's
Oh,
like
so
I
this
would
is-
love
I
to
have
get
negative money.
a butt.
Well, this is like how you hear about people don't like hyper-realistic games. They're like, it needs to... It's unironically the same with 3D models. You can't try and go for like the generic anime look with a 3D model. You have to do like some weird stylization shit to it to make it look
Yeah.
good. If you just try and make it look generic, it comes off looking like a monster.
Up there.
Yeah, and it's like, one day would I love to get like a 3D model that is a 1-to-1 copy of my live 2D model? Yeah, sure, but those usually go for about like $5,000 to $6,000. I don't have that money.
Yeah.
They look really good though.
Oh, they look fucking beautiful.
Miss Lala has a good
But-
3D model? Yes, she does. Sorry, continue.
And I think she's only also just a 3D model VTuber as well. But it's like, I swear, I think I'm the only one that, like, you know, I don't watch Zentrea because the text to speech voice gives me a headache and I hate it. But I also don't like her 3D model. Kind of looks like she got hit with a pan and her face just stayed flat.
Oh, that's so mean.
To be fair, I don't like Centrea's model either. I think it looks really dumb.
I personally don't like the face, but I know a lot of people really like the. I know a lot of friends that like Zen, but I don't think they like Zen. I know they like the model, but they like how just crazy they are.
Oh, I was about to say, you could say the same thing about really any girl. You just put a paper bag over the face if the body looks fine.
Holy.
What?
Well, to be fair, you can't really use that argument because half of Zen is a guy, so
Yeah.
you're in for a rude surprise either way.
This is Kirsch. Listen, Kirsch rocks the 3D model. I think it's obvious that Kirsch isn't your normal VTuber, because the thing is the audience that Kirsch has is an audience that probably doesn't care what her model is.
I love
Kirsch is great, and
I love Kirsha so much. It's like her 3D model, it just like adds to her personality so fucking much.
yes.
It's like I don't know why, but whenever she talks, her model moves like in the most weird way, and it's charming.
kind of freaks out a little bit. Now, I will say,
Yeah.
Kirsch's audience is not the audience that cares if it's a 2D or 3D. Kirsch's audience is full of crazy people like you guys that are also amazing, but they really don't care about that. The people that care about the 2D and the 3D stuff are the general VTuber crowd. If you're in the general VTuber crowd, they do care if you are a 2D or 3D, because the big people are, for the most part, 2D. That is the argument that I am trying to say here. Is, you know, Kirsch gets away with it because she's not trying to please the audience in the same way, if that makes sense. She's just entertaining because she's entertaining. And I feel like she could do that with a PNG, a 3D, 2D, or whatever.
Well, one day we'll get Kirsha onto the podcast.
I'd love
to.
I'd love to talk to her. But no, like, overall, if you want to get very, very big in the VTuber sphere, in the general sphere, in the uwu sphere, 2D is definitely the more popular. 3D is way more advanced, and it will only work for you if you can be advanced with it. And I think that's all that needs to be said about it. Okay. Louis, would you like to read this next one?
Treating the concept of collabs as a golden ticket to fame, when in reality, most successful collab groups are good purely because they're actually homies when OBS is off. Ask people for collabs when you're sure that you're gonna get along as friends, get to know them off stream before going live. That I get, but also, like, you know, for example, I have only, like, you know, collabed with Jazz one other time when I was on his podcast with Rosa. But we also talk a decent amount, like, you know, off screen and stuff, or like in the closed collective server. But one other person that I've collabed with, well, I guess a group of people, was when I was doing Desiree's Lethal Company contest collab thing. And, you know, I didn't know anyone who I was on the team with besides Sylvie, but that's a whole nother thing.
That's right, I forgot about that.
But, like, some of them I still talk to, others I really don't. So it's like, you know, it's kind of one of those balancing acts where sometimes you'll meet friends off of collabs, other times you kind of want to make friends first before you collab. It depends on how you vibe with people, but that's just me.
It does.
Well, think about it like this way. Saying what they're saying is about the equivalent of saying you can't play any multiplayer game unless you play it with friends because you just won't enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, sometimes you just get like in shit teams, or you're just not vibing with whoever you're playing with and it's not so fun. But that doesn't mean that you're never going to find some people that you're going to vibe with and you're going to be like, okay, this is great. I mean, that's how you typically found your current friends in the first place.
That's how we're in a group, for the most part. I will say that the idea that collabs help you grow is true for the most part. It is statistically proven. I actually did studies on this. When you guys started showing up, all of our viewerships kind of increased, and they are continuing to grow up because of when we do stuff together. So it is true that when you do it, streams with people, even the same people multiple times, audiences like interacting with that. Audiences mix, intermingle. If they like the other streamer, they'll follow them, and that's how that works. I do think that being friends with them helps, but for the most part, collabs help out, and so yeah, it helps. Okay, here's the next one. Wanting buy art. Okay, this person doesn't speak English, obviously. Wanting buy art from literally anybody or everyone, but not being able to afford it.
I mean, that's just a personal problem, my dude.
Yeah, no, yeah, I agree.
I mean, no, I can kind of agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of really good artists who I'd love to commission, but it's just one of those things. Like, you have to accept you don't have money. VTubing doesn't make money. That's my VTuber complaint.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks that you can, like, just chime in and make money, including artists, which really gets on my nerves. Where you're like, well, you know, what do you mean my commission prices are too much? You're a VTuber. Certainly you make money. It's like, no, I don't.
Majority.
A lot of people don't understand. VTubing is a hobby for a lot of people. A lot of people want to make money off of VTubing, but it's not viable outside of, like, you know, like, okay, for example, most of the time I don't meet the fucking payout threshold on Twitch. I get paid like maybe every 3 months. So, like,
yeah, my thing isn't like, I don't think artists should be giving you stuff for free, but a lot of artists, when you try and commission them, act like you should be rich. It's like, no, you get paid per commission. I don't know if I ever get paid. If I do, it's kind of like a random little, like, oh, I actually made money this month. That's kind of cool.
No,
But
yeah,
they always act like you have a consistent revenue stream. It's like, no, I don't. A lot of us don't.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I just lost my train of thought. Excuse me. It's one
You're
of those.
welcome.
It's one of those things where when it comes to VTubing, and really just content creation in general, is a very volatile market. If you don't know what you're doing, 9 times out of 10, people are just going to fail. There are going to be people that said that they got lucky and that they got into it. The people that got quote-unquote lucky didn't know what they were doing and genuinely got lucky. For the most part, I know exactly what I'm doing, and all of my growth is calculated. I don't expect to make money off of it as fast, but that's partially just because there's a lot of factors to making money, and it's kind of rough. It's gotten even rougher because Google is losing its ad rates a little bit, but I don't know. I think people should not just assume that VTubers are made of money, because most of them are not. And people shouldn't assume that VTubers are smart with their money either, because VTubers get scammed all the time, it seems.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
that's
look
no
at Bao.
shade. That's no shade to anybody like Bao, but what the fuck? Ma'am? You need to do a little bit better with vetting people, because holy shit, $20,000 again?
Whoever your manager is, you gotta fire them and get a new one.
Oh my gosh, speaking of managers, it's not
No,
gonna
it's
happen.
Something a lot of big VTubers apparently need to understand. There is such a thing as a deposit.
Yeah.
This is what regular companies do. They don't pay everything up front. They pay a deposit. You can see this in a lot of like lawsuits where they're saying we want our deposit back because they didn't deliver the product. Don't just hand them all the money up front.
No, I agree. With most artists, I even tell them this. I was like, I will pay you a bit in the beginning. When you start providing something, I'll pay you the rest. Most of them know that. Most of them are okay with that. There's only a handful of people that I trust, and that's because I trust them. Ari is one of them. But, no, I think some VTubers need to be smarter with, their money. But yeah.
VTubers being financially irresponsible challenge. Impossible.
Impossible.
I know exactly what I'm doing is something I've heard from people who didn't know what they were doing.
Exactly. Most content creators don't know what they're doing. Most of them. In fact, I would say the only one that knows a little bit more about what he's doing is Mr. Beast, and that's because he's got people behind him. But for the most part, most content creators are flying by the seat of their pants, And if they just disappear, it's because they stopped making money. Ari to go.
I'm
Ari
just
is
here
a go,
for the
yes.
ride.
Ari
I'm
is
just
a
here
go,
for the
yeah.
ride. I don't know what I'm doing.
But really quickly, speaking of managers, I am preparing a special podcast in the future talking about managers because there is some things.
That's it. No more information.
Okay.
Hush now.
That's
We
all I'm
told
gonna
you
say.
secret.
Fair enough.
Lumi and I have to manage Oka.
Yep. We do this for free.
No, but yeah, it's something I'm working on. It'll be a couple months into the future. Alright, let's move on. Corpo's taking advantage of VTubers that actually think causing drama is a good way to get views. It does, though.
It is.
It does, though. Candy...
It's not good views a lot of the time, and then they bitch about it. But you get views.
Candy Queen Charlie. You should start some drama or talk about drama. It gets views. You're gonna kill your prospects of friends, but it does get views.
Yep.
How almost everyone in the fandom is committed or is committing war crimes. I mean, that's just general. Yeah. Let's see. Some Twitch VTubing center teams only accept people with large followings, and it makes me sad. Well, that's because they want people that know what they're doing, or maybe have a following. And this is something that I feel like people need to understand. The reason why there is a minimum requirement for sponsorships, and the reason is they do not want somebody with 100 followers that has maybe 1 to 2 concurrents getting their money. Because when you get real sponsorships, they typically, not like the sponsorships where, hey, if you get your friends to play your game, we'll give you a couple dollars. No, these are sponsorships that typically give 500 to 1,000 to much more money. They don't want somebody that has a very little concurrence. They want somebody with big followings. The minimum threshold for any sponsorship is 10,000. After 10,000, you will get the emails. If that is an issue for you, then get out of the game. So
it's like one thing that a lot of people, especially VTubers, don't understand is that like they will look at solely Twitter followers when they make these groups.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the time they don't even look at the Twitch followers or what the concurrent viewers that people get.
Oh yeah.
Like I have seen VTubers that have like tens of thousands of followers on Twitter, but only get like 4 viewers on their streams.
Oops.
So it's like, people need to realize that Twitter popularity isn't real. Sure, they'll get like, the followers on Twitch and make it look like they're more popular than they actually are.
Mm-hmm.
But they're actually not that popular or interesting at all.
No, yeah. I think VTubers that judge the success of another VTuber based off of Twitter are kind of stupid, because Twitter is a very bad representation for who is popular and who is not.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's go through one more, and then I want to talk about my gay artist drama that I came upon. And we'll kind of make that the last thing for the night, unless you guys wanted to bring up anything else.
I have nothing else. I'm just trying to fucking buy more time because we've only been live for
an hour and a half.
An hour and a half.
Yes.
It's okay to have slow nights.
No, it's... Yeah. I mean, technically, there's a lot of stuff this week, but I really only got
It's
1
all
to 2
very
things
compact.
together.
It's all compact and also not very interesting either, to be
Very
honest.
true. Very, very true.
Well, because like you could talk for hours about the sweet baby thing, but most of it's going to be like repeating information. It's going to be like boring technical shit.
Mm-hmm.
All you really need to know is the entire company's a meme. Every single one of them is salty as fuck, and there's a lot of shady shit going on in the background.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and also my IRL job doesn't allow me the time to actually do deep dives on this shit. Pay me enough money and I will do this shit. I'll do deep dive reshirts for hours at a time. But until then, you get my baseline shit.
If you give
I dream of
Lumi,
the day when I can go part-time at work and just do
Exactly.
this.
if you can give Lumi and Mizu $1,000 a month, they'll go part-time and stream for 5 hours a day.
Unironically, yes.
Honestly, yeah.
For $1,000, I will honestly go part-time.
Well, actually,
That's about
yeah,
enough. You know?
$1,000 just for VTubing. Yeah, yeah. That honestly ain't bad, and then I can do like 30 hours a week at my job.
Mm-hmm. Okay, this is the last one, and then we'll continue on. The amount of lewd tubers are wait, the amount of lewd tubers are there. Excuse me, let me read this in the way I think that they're trying to say. The amount of lewd tubers are too many, way too many. Where's my say-so VTubers at? I'm sorry, I people need to
Because
read
sex
before they
sells.
post. Yes,
That's why.
sex does sell. However, I don't think that there is more lewd VTubers than Safe for Work ones, because while sex does sell, it is not very advertiser friendly. So the lewd VTubers will only exist in the vacuum that they can spread themselves and their legs far enough for people to see. The moment that they can't do that is the moment that that they have to stop doing what they're doing. I feel like that's why Project Melody is, while they probably still do some lewd stuff, I feel like that's why they're not very as popular with the lewd stuff anymore. If you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
I mean that's why I feel like V Shoujo is not really that, like, I feel like they were way more promiscuous when they were brand new, but now they're just kind of like chilling out, and I think it's because it doesn't make you a lot of money if in the long term, and if you want more long term, you need to be sustainable, and to be sustainable you gotta not be overly lewd. You know, ecchi is probably fine, but you can't
just not get too close
you
to
can't do it too much. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, so chat, I have one other thing for tonight. I don't know how much I want to talk about this because it's boring and gay, legitimately gay. And the drama is probably over on this. Literally, I messaged the person, and I'm not going to share. I think for the most part, I'm not gonna be showing much, because a lot of this information was obtained from a person that has asked to be kept private, and I, of course, as a good journalist, an actual journalist, will do that. But there was some drama in the artist community, and I am pulling it up right now as we speak. But there was some drama in the artist community because oh shoot, where did my message go here? I'm probably just gonna have to bring it up. Don't worry, the screen is hidden now. But there was some drama in the artist community because it came out that there was a Discord group where a bunch of artists that draw predominantly gay things, which is fine, you know, we're not going to be shaming anybody here, but it was a Discord group where they draw predominantly gay male stuff, had a special channel called the Cancel Channel, and this channel was focused towards showing off artists that they did not like. Now, I gave a brief overview of a Google Doc talking about it, and I am going to go into this. Now I'm going to go into this drama a little bit, but I'm not going to go into like a lot of deep, because unfortunately, there's a lot of smoke that they don't want to take down. There's a lot of things that they don't want to admit. To give you the TLDR, probably is true, a lot of the stuff that is being said, but because people are refusing to talk, I don't feel confident asserting a lot of things that that may not be true. But basically, this channel
Here, I'm gonna give you the better TLDR.
Yeah, you go ahead.
I had my hot opinions on this. So they have a list, a Google spreadsheet of all the artists they think are bad people and what supposedly they have done to be labeled bad people. And it is in their cancel channel. And regardless of what they say, when you make a categorized list of quote-unquote bad people, you know what people are trying to do with that information, and you know what's going to happen with it. You
Yes.
can't say, well, I didn't tell you to go harass anybody. You knew that list was going to be used for harassment.
Yes.
I don't understand why anyone's trying to defend them at all. Because the guy that had messaged Oka was trying to come up with like all these excuses, like, well, they didn't directly call for, canceling the artist. They didn't say this, they didn't say that. They knew, like, let's all be adults here. They knew what they were doing. They knew that what would happen if they spread this list.
Yes.
That was their intent.
Yes.
You don't make a list titled people to cancel with all the reasons to cancel them, and they'd be like, well, I didn't really actually expect them to get canceled.
Pretty much. And to add on to that, the reason why this even came up in the first place, because this was in a Discord server. Now, I don't know how public or private the server is. I know it's locked down now because of the drama, but the reason why it came up is because some of the artists that were on this Google Doc were getting suspended. And when that information got out there, the accusation was thrown out that these gay artists, or I don't know if it's Bara.
Bara.
What does Bara mean?
B-A-R-I.
Is that just supposed to mean gay artist, or what
No,
does that mean?
Bara-
Gay artists. It would take a lot longer to explain it. They're just
Okay.
gay artists.
Okay. So the
I was ready to just explain, but I'll do that later.
okay. No,
Trust
but
me,
these.
I've already tried this with Oka. It's gonna be a trip.
Okay.
That's how bad I am. But anyway, these artists who made this bar art basically had this list, and the artists that they put on this list, I don't think it was all Lolicon and Shotacon artists, but for the most part, the Lolicon and Shotacon artists that they had on this list started getting suspended. And because of this, it came out that they had this list, and people started getting upset at them, and a lot of drama came out around it. And I received messages from an unnamed individual who is connected with one of the people in the server, and they were basically like, yeah, so I don't think you should judge this person, even though I think that what they did was wrong. I feel like the amount of hate that they're getting is sucky. And I while this was going on, I kind of tossed back and forth between Mizu and Lumi how we should tackle this and ask questions. And basically, like, I tried to ask, like, can you show me some of this harassment? Can you show me the death threats that were going on, and just show me all of these things? Because like whenever somebody says, oh, I have to lock myself away because my life is threatened, obviously we want to see it so we can say, hey guys, this isn't cool. Because I will say right now, if people are sending life-threatening messages to these bar artists, I think that's dumb. I think that's stupid, and it doesn't make you much better than these artists are and what they're doing. So I asked him, I was like, can you share this? Because I would like to see this so that I can speak basically on your behalf. And I couldn't share anything. I asked if they could ask the person, because again, this wasn't the owner or the people of the server. This was just somebody who knew them. And I was like, can you tell me this information? And they're like, sorry, I can't. And the person who does have this information, or doesn't want to talk to people about it. I was like, okay. So all I can assume, not having seen anything, I saw they sent me one tweet that basically said, oh, these artists are canceling my favorite artist, they should go die. And that was the only thing they could share with me. And obviously I think that's dumb, but that's just one random Twitter comment. I am forced to assume, because of what I've seen and the lack of transparency, that this probably is true, that there was reporting that went on. I mean, we don't really have evidence of that, but I'm forced to believe it because there is a lack of willing to share. Now, that's just my opinion. I don't know if you guys have any different opinions on that, but that's just my opinion on the matter.
I don't think they good.
And so
They knew what the list was going to be used for. They put it out there anyways. I will hear nothing about them being innocent.
no, I agree. I 100% agree. So because because this was leaked, all of these artists that did their art have locked their accounts. And I'm not gonna say who they are because I don't feel like the situation really needs to be fueled any further. Apparently, and I asked the person who before we started the show, hey, do you have any updates for me? And they're like, no, not really, but I know another artist that was on this list was just suspended. And then I was like, I haven't replied to them, obviously, since we're doing the show, but that doesn't help their case here. It's just like, okay, you're not, and my whole problem with this is, is thus, as somebody who considers themselves bisexual, and understands that people can get shit on for either being gay, being lesbian, or whatever. Attach yourself to whatever letter of the alphabet you want. I get it, I see it, and I don't think it's cool that people get harassed. On the flip side, as somebody who is a gay artist drawing gay things, no, it's not my thing, but it's your thing. As somebody who draws this stuff, you should understand more than anybody, what it feels like to be judged, harassed, or bullied away from somewhere because of how you believe or how you act. And the fact that these artists that claim that they are in marginalized spaces go out and make lists of people that they don't like, of artists that don't break the law, because as far as I know, the artists on that list are all just Japanese artists. Some of them draw lolicon, some of them draw shotokan. It's not against the law, at least in the US, which is where the internet is mostly drawing its law from. All right, it's not illegal. And because it's not illegal, you have no ground over trying to be the internet police. And it just feels like such hypocrisy, such blatant hypocrisy, that these people who want to be protected from others would go out and do this. It's kind of infuriating, and I had to hold myself back several times. Mizu can definitely attest to that, where I wanted to say, listen, I feel like this is kind of stupid, because why are you claiming that you're the victim in this when literally you're doing the things that you don't want people doing to you? You know what I mean? It's just hurts my head.
I think the most interesting thing to come out of your conversation with them was the constant insistence that it had nothing to do with like Lolly Shota stuff. But when we showed the document, even though they blurred out the names of all the specific artists that were targeted, in the reasoning section, Shota popped up a considerable number of times.
Oh yeah, that's like, it's just like, okay, you're saying it doesn't have to do with this, but it clearly does. And it's just like, again,
well, I haven't heard.
If you want people that, because like in the beginning, I was somewhat sympathetic.
All good.
Because again, I don't think people should be harassed or sent death threats or be forced off of the internet unless they are a real predator. And as far as I know, these bar artists aren't. So I don't feel like they deserve that. However, now I don't care. And maybe that's a heartless thing for me to say, but I don't care, because you've shown that you're willing to get in the mud, but once the mud gets flung right back at you, you don't want to mess around with it. And it's just like, okay, well, you get what you deserve because this is how you acted. So, I don't know. They said that the situation's cooling down, but if people are still getting suspended, well, oh well. I don't feel bad for you then if people get mad at you because this is what you decided to do. So I guess the moral of the story is, if you're gonna go be gay and make art, don't get mad when somebody draws little gay boys and little gay girls doing the exact same thing. Because it's no different in my opinion. They can't take the heat while they're going to the kitchen? That's a good question. I don't know. Oh, man. That's basically it. I feel like there's not much else to say on the thing. All those artists are they basically locked their accounts and... Yeah. Oh, man. I don't know. That's...
I honestly have no comment, because, to be honest, ever since I've been in fandom and following artists and stuff, out of all of the artists that eat each other alive, it's always the fucking gay artists. I'm sorry, but it
Really?
is. It's
It's crazy to think
specifically,
of.
specifically the bara artists.
Really?
The bara artists are fucking insane.
Hmm.
Can confirm.
That's crazy. That's really crazy. Well,
So people just leave them to their own devices most of the time. Nobody wants to deal with it.
indeed.
There was only one really sweet bara artist that I used to know. He had like the cutest OC that was like a gardener and shit. But then I lost track of his socials, and I'm like, ugh, I miss him sometimes.
I do want to clarify, though, that the bara artists are significantly less bad than the Fujoshis.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a conversation for another stream, just talking about different.
That
I would love to talk about different fandoms.
that is a conversation for a Finsley stream, because that can go in a direction real quick.
I bet.
Because the more not safe for work and kink you go into, the more savage the fucking communities get.
I bet. Well, really quickly, I have concluded the poll is at Gamergate 2 with 45 votes in total. 80% of you said yes, it is Gamergate 2, and 20% said no. That's fair enough. Maybe I am stupid and gay for my opinion, but time will tell. Time will tell, chat. Anyway, that's all I got for tonight. A lot of craziness. But yeah, any closing thoughts from either of you?
No.
No?
I got nothing.
Fair enough. What about you, Mizu?
No, that's
No.
about it.
Fair enough. Either of you doing something interesting for the rest of the week for people to look out for?
The VTuber community is very toxic. Yeah, I mean... Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of beside the point, though. We didn't really get into that.
I know tomorrow I'm just gonna be spreading more democracy, freedom, and liberty.
Fair enough. Are we gonna do that tomorrow?
Yeah, I have a fourth I'm gonna be dragging in against his will, so.
Okay, fair enough. I'll be joining up for that as well then, if it's okay.
Yeah.
We'll be engaging in... By the way, really quickly, speaking of Helldivers, mechs are coming soon. We are trying to liberate a planet where the mechs are being constructed. So if you have the game, you should at the very least log in and do it once.
Go do your part.
Yes, go do your part for managed democracy. But if that's it, I think we're going to start winding it down now. We do have an outro song if you want to listen. As always, I choose the coolest of songs that fit with the
Hey,
stream.
that is a conversation for later.
Indeed.
Mizu, can you please get your insight on the Fujoshi buttholes?
Oh my gosh.
Why buttholes? I'm confused.
Just say no comment.
By buttholes, I mean the fandom. Fujoshi girls fucking suck. Just in general. I've never met, like, a good Fujoshi girl. Like, they'll go into spaces that are literally, like, male fantasies with nothing but lesbians, and they'll still try and find a way to make it about gay guys. It is fucking bizarre. Like, the fact that Fujoshis managed to, like, latch on to Honkai Impact, and there's, like, literally 2 guys in the entire fucking series, I genuinely don't know what happened.
Wait, oh, that's funny. Yeah, there really is only 1 or 2 different guys, and one of them is a bad guy.
They just latch on to any, like, singular man they can find, and it's weird.
Lumi has gone 2 weeks without mentioning Gundam, tied for all-time record. Hell yeah, Lumi! Congratulations.
No, don't worry, chat. She lost that before the stream.
No, that doesn't count.
It doesn't count.
That
It
doesn't
wasn't on
count.
the stream. So it does not count.
Alright. Well, thanks everybody for being here this week. This was quite the fun episode. I definitely enjoyed it. We'll be back tomorrow night on our own channels for more stuff. And if you are interested, make sure to follow us on our different places so that you can get access to more of our other content. I'm, of course, on YouTube, and you guys are on Twitch primarily, but you also have YouTube as well. But yeah, thanks for coming today, guys. We'll see ya when we see ya. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.